Hearts Restored, Finding True Fulfillment in Christ, by Stephanie M. Seaton. Heart Restored, Finding True Fulfillment in Christ. In this book, we embark on a journey that explores the depths of human longing and the pursuit of true fulfillment.
Be a part of the Singles Discussion Panel on August 11th, 2024, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Be a live guest and become part of the conversation. There are 3 guest spots available for the live discussion.
The Voice of the Holy Spirit by author Stephanie M. Seaton. In this book there are numerous testimonies of supernatural provisions and instruction, because she listened to the voice of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is our comforter and guide.
Hello, and welcome to the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show. Tonight we have an amazing episode. I just want to thank you all so much for tuning in every Tuesday night and every Thursday night as we go live to showcase entrepreneurs, to showcase ministers, to showcase people in the community that are doing amazing things, giving back to the community, and also just the idea that people want to share their stories to help other people, healing, empowerment, and transformation. And so I am just so grateful to be here again tonight. I've got another amazing guest tonight to bring to the stage. We have Patricia Creswell. She is here tonight to talk about her business, to talk about her motivation, giving back to the community. She's got some amazing things going on. Help me welcome Patricia to the stage. Welcome.
Such a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for having me. I'm just super thrilled to be a part of your community today, and I hope I can add some value.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very happy to have you here tonight as well. You are a entrepreneur, a businesswoman. I mean, I salute all people in business, but when I see women going a step and above, because we have so many hats that we have to wear, but yet, we find different ways to, stretch ourselves and still do things to bless and give back to the community. So I definitely am looking forward to hearing more about what you've got going on here tonight, Miss Patricia. Now, listen, I have one question that I usually ask every guest at the beginning. And that question, Miss Patricia, is tell us, who is Patricia?
Well, she is a very hardworking, um, giving back, uh, genuine person who has been through some interesting things. So of course,
Yeah, yeah,
we never look like what we've gone through,
yeah.
but all of those tests became our testimonies, and
Yes.
in that mess, it became my message. So
Amen.
we're
Amen.
gonna use it for that.
Trust me, I understand. I can identify with it as well as so many other people that are watching tonight. And so, as I was saying a few minutes ago, I love having this platform to be able to showcase people and their stories, and people who are open to being transparent and vulnerable to say, you know what, hey, I had some hiccups. I've been through some things, but at the same time, I pushed through, and with the help of the Lord, I got to the other side, because we need more people to be open and encourage other people, right? I think
Right.
that's what it's all about. So I know that you're an entrepreneur. You're dedicated to assisting people in planning and preparing their legacies. I know that you are mother of three daughters. I know that, and we kind of talked about this briefly. Your grandmother, with her entrepreneur spirit, played a big part in you kind of jumping out into, entrepreneurship. Tell us a little bit about your grandmother and how she started the spirit of entrepreneurship that influenced you.
Well, back in like I think it was like the 60s, my grandmother, she started a boarding care home, a residential care facility. And basically, it was a home where people lived with her 24 hours a day, and she took care of them. She made their breakfast, she washed their clothes, she
Mhm.
did everything for them, gave them their medicine. And so she did that for until she couldn't do it anymore. Put it like
Wow.
that. You Uh, I moved in with her when she was about 66 years old. So she had already been doing it for 20 years. And that's
Wow.
all I her doing until the day she passed away. Hmm.
Wow. Wow. So that definitely lets heart and in your mind about giving back and taking care of others. Which brings me to my next question. So I've watched several of your videos and your lives where you are doing estate sales or estate planning, and you are so excited. I watched a video and you were like, "Oh, look at all these goodies," and you were going through. And how rewarding is that? Because just watching the video, watching you get excited about going through different properties. I mean, how did you get into this, and how did you know this was something that you were looking into?
Well, about 5 years ago, I didn't even know that this was actually a thing. Um, just a little backstory. I was formerly in a marriage, and it didn't work out. We
Okay.
broke up in a not a good way. So he wanted to fight me on everything in the property. I couldn't have the sofa. I couldn't have the
Yeah.
forks. I couldn't
Mhm.
have these. So, for my peace and for the sake of the peace of my children, I walked
Yeah.
away with nothing, just the clothes on our
Mhm.
and really didn't have anywhere to go. So I kind of floated around homeless for a while. I stayed at some
Wow.
shelters. We ended up actually staying at the In Town Suites here in Dallas in the Carrollton area, and I stayed there until oof, when I tell that story, I go back to that time. And,
Yeah.
even though it was rough for me, like I stayed at a shelter where I had to sleep on air mattresses on altars every night. And I said,
Mm,
you know what, God? I can't get no closer to you than this. I can't get
mm.
closer to God than this. This is like the cleansing and the humbling that God needed for me to go through in order to
Yeah.
see how all I have to do is have faith in him,
Right.
and really he can really take that mustard seed of faith and multiply it. So um, as I was staying in the in town suite, somebody told me, did you know you can sell stuff on eBay and Poshmark and Depop and all these things? And I was like, no, I didn't know you could do that. I wish I had knew that a long time ago when I had fancier stuff I could sell, you
Yeah.
know. And so
Yeah.
I had like $10 to my name, and I went to the store in Plano, Texas, and they have on Wednesdays, it's 25-cent Wednesdays. So I
Okay.
went, got 40 items for $10. And I was like, yay, I'm excited. And I went home, I posted up those things on eBay. They were selling for like $10, $15, $20. I was like, oh my gosh, it's working. It's working. And
Wow.
so from there, I ended up, going around. I turned, made a really big eBay store and all these platforms. I was kind of doing a lot of posting on them. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of driving around looking for stuff. How could I turn myself into a source?
Yeah.
So I went to an estate sale for the first time, and the lady was running around like crazy. And I was like, well, what happens if you don't sell everything? She says, well, I need somebody that can come here and clean it out. Do you do that? And I was like, yeah, I do it. Didn't e- didn't know what it was, didn't
Yeah.
know how to perform the job. I just told
Yeah.
her I did. That was on Sunday. On Tuesday, I was backing up a 26-foot U-Haul truck, and I had some people that I met at the Home Depot, and I was like, "Hey, you want to work?" And we were clearing out a 3,000 square foot property in Mansfield. So
Wow.
that's
Wow.
how it started. Now
That is amazing.
500 homes later, plus.
Whoa.
So yeah,
Look at God. Like just off of a little bit of information, just what it looked like random information. The Lord gave you a whole new life, gave you a whole business, and you said over 500 homes later.
yes, ma'am. Yes,
Wow.
yes,
That
ma'am.
is amazing.
Right.
That is amazing.
So
Wow.
grateful to God for that. And it's like, sometimes, like when I was telling you the story about how, my ex-spouse wanted to fight with me over forks, knives, and spoons. And
Yeah.
instead of me walking by faith like I did, like I walked by faith and I said, Lord, I trust you. I'll get all those things
Yeah.
again. I've sold over
Mm,
40,000 forks. I've sold over
mm.
1,000
Jesus.
cows.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo, you about to make me shout. Whoa. Yeah. The enemy uses people and they think that they can stop the blessing of God. But you know what they really do, Patricia? They push us into the will of God because sometimes the Lord has to allow things to happen because we're comfortable. But
Yes.
sometimes the Lord will allow things to happen and he'll allow people to be people to push us to where he wants us to go. Because if things had continued to be comfortable in that situation, you would have stayed. And that's not where the Lord intended for you to be. So look at God. That is amazing. I know
Yes, ma'am.
you are inspiring somebody right now as we are speaking. And that is big. Over 500 houses later. Amazing, amazing. So Contemporary Current is the business that we're talking about. She is the founder of Contemporary Current. And she pretty much helps people turn their depreciating assets into liquidity which is pretty much through estate sales. So she can tell you a little bit more about that. I know a lot of it has to do with different, I guess, if it's like items that people are really looking for or valuable. Kind of tell us a little bit about what determines the value of the sales.
So, first of all, estate sales, they're based off of like, there are 5 different factors. I call it the 5 Ds of estate sales so that people understand exactly why would a person even need to have one of these. The top
Yeah,
reason is going to be death. That's the top reason.
yeah,
The
yeah.
second reason is going to be downsizing. Sometimes our people
Mm,
we get older and we don't need 3,000 square feet. We don't need 10,000 square feet. We just want to
yeah,
move to a living facility or a friend's house. So downsizing is number 2. Number 3 is, I say divorce, because there's a lot of people that were in, a situation where you can't take a chainsaw to the sofa like they did in that movie and then split the brain.
yeah, yeah,
you know, Easier
yeah.
to just sell it, and then you take half the cash and you take half the cash and everybody can go their separate ways. So I am
Right.
really promoting it for people that are experiencing that, if they can do it amicably, of course. And then we have people that are displaced due to natural disasters. Like in Houston, they had that hurricane, the power was
Yeah,
out, people are
yeah,
tired of living underneath those conditions. There are people that are calling me saying, sell all my stuff. I'm moving to the East Coast. I'm moving to Canada. I'm moving to Costa Rica. So
yeah,
that also is a reason. And then debt. Debt is a major
yeah,
reason for people to have estate sales. You want to pay off all your bills, or you want to consolidate your credit cards, or you got some medical stuff you need to take care of. You can sell your valuables, turn it into cash, and then
yeah.
use it to pay off some of those things.
Oh
Mm.
wow. So you're helping. Well, you're helping me. I'm sitting here listening and I'm like thinking to myself right now, what can I do without? I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I've collected some things that I've never even went back to look at. But in the moment, that's probably a lot of people. We collect things because we like it, it looked nice, or just it was cute or whatever, and then we pack it away. And we don't ever actually even really appreciate the things. We just got stuff. Um, so creating generational wealth. I saw that you had a statement about creating generational wealth, which is where my mindset is going now. Um, when you liquidate all these things, you
Mhm.
have the ability to pretty much kind of start over in a sense, right? It's kind of
Right.
like kind of like a clean slate, liquidating, paying off your bills, paying off your debts, and it's kind of like pressing a restart button. Would you say that?
Yeah, a lot of times it is like a restart, and you can take those monies and invest it into things that can appreciate in value. Maybe some stocks, maybe some bonds, maybe your child's future. That's investment. Because they're going to have to take care of you one day.
Yeah,
Um, so there's certain things that would be, considered a great investment for those monies. Hmm. Yeah.
yeah. I wonder if I'm sitting here in this moment just being honest. I really hadn't thought about estate selling as a way of creating generational wealth, but I mean that's definitely a new opportunity for us, to be more open minded about. I see that you go around and kind of do some public speaking. You talk about different things on social media, and then you have an article publication as well for educating people about creating generational wealth through estate. So are people like shocked when you say this, or do you find that a lot of people are actually informed about this?
It's really one of the most unknown professions. And I think
Yeah.
almost kind of like thankless, if you will. I call it God's work, because the stuff that we have to walk into when we walk into these properties, you would not believe. It's unbelievable. I've seen homes that were, covered in mold, or water damage all over the home. And people are living in homes like this and nobody even knows it. Senior citizens, family members that live out of state, and then they come back and they see that their mom or dad has been living in squalid conditions. And, sometimes we can work around or clean stuff up and make it suitable. but those kinds of
Mhm.
properties, too bad. Like I have one now where they ripped out all the walls and they were like, "Can you please do an estate sale here? We need to get rid of everything." I was like, "I can't do a sale here with exposed wiring."
Yeah.
So
Not quite ideal, right?
right, right.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I
So
saw
yeah.
your mantra is being amazing, being phenomenal, being a legacy. Tell us about that.
Oh, that one started a long time ago. I had a financial literacy mission back in like 2015 before it was popular. And I was just, kind of like standing on my soapbox, just trying to inspire people to think outside of themselves and just plan for the future ahead. And, it was kind of like prophetic, if you will, because, here we are,
Yeah.
2024 years later, and it's like, oh gosh, we're going to start thinking about our future, and so I was doing it
Yeah.
when it was a very unpopular topic, so and that mantra, people expected to hear that, and it inspired people to be like, you know what, I should start planning or thinking about being a legacy. I can do it. I am phenomenal. It is me. I'm a true testimony of something that, because I was in the beauty industry before the financial literacy industry, and I never would have thought in a million years I'd be digging through people's dirt, digging through people's dust. Today, I'm looking like
Yeah.
this right now, Stephanie, but about 2 hours ago, dirty.
Yeah.
I had my sweated 3 times, my outfit out 3 times. I was going up and downstairs, moving stuff. I got injured 3 times. I count my injuries daily. I smashed my finger. I did this. Like, it is
Oh,
dirty work.
it's a tough
Okay.
job. Yeah. Yeah.
Also that when people come shop, like I have a
Yeah.
sale this week, everything's beautiful. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's rewarding, yet it takes a lot of work to, the like you said, the houses and the atmosphere that you're going into. So it's like hidden treasures, would you say?
Yeah. Yeah. You never
Yeah.
know. So
Kind of like,
it keeps it exciting.
yeah. So just so that everybody has a really clear understanding, Patricia, tell us what all services you provide, just so that everybody knows, because I definitely want people to understand Contemporary Current is the name of her business. And just tell us all the services that you provide so that people have a clear understanding.
Perfect. So we do estate sales, where we sell all the contents of the homes. And we also do estate cleanouts, where we'll come and just clear
Mhm.
out the property if you are selling it, renting it out, and you just need to clear it out. We provide online auction services to, liquidate large collections or small collections or even the whole property. And we also sell the property. We do investor wholesaling deals for properties that sometimes our clients need that service done as well. So not only do we sell the contents of the home, we can also sell the property too. And yeah, I think that sums it up for Contemporary Current. That's the gambit of our services. And then I have an estate sale academy where I teach people nationwide how to start their own estate sale company. So
Oh, wow. Wow. That is amazing. Okay, okay. Can anyone have an estate sale? I mean, is it pretty much? I mean, do you have to have a certain value of items, or can like you just randomly decide that you know what I want to have an estate sale and pay off my debts? Like, how does that work?
anybody can have an estate sale. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you live in an apartment, a mobile home, a trailer park, a
Yeah,
house,
yeah,
a boat. Um,
yeah,
you live in a storage unit, just call me and I will let
yeah,
you know. I'll do a determine if it's worth it or not. But for the most part, don't ever think that it's not an option for you. It is. It's an option.
yeah. Let me ask you, with some of the clients that you have had, tell us some of the reward stories that you have, helped people. Was it they sold their items, they got out of debt, they bought new homes, they, what are some of the happy stories of people clients that you've worked with that you helped to change their lives?
Well, I was just reading some of my reviews the other day because I was like, golly, this is amazing to see like how a lady, she said she was really struggling with selling her mom and dad's things. Of course, everybody's so deeply connected and sentimentally connected to all these items that you've
Yeah.
seen over time. And so she said, I came in there, and of course, I have good bedside manner, like, because I've experienced death, I've just experienced displacement, I've experienced divorce, I've experienced downsizing to nothing, I've experienced
Yeah.
debt. So each one
Yeah.
of those levels of, estate sales I've experienced, so I can offer the compassion that's needed for each one of those persons. So this particular lady, she was able to sell those contents. Her dad was still living. She moved him to a senior living facility. He's happy as a jaybird. She no longer has to worry about cutting a 3-acre farm, getting the yard cut and all that. She is happy
Yeah.
and living his best life, getting served every day by beautiful nurses, and he doesn't
Yeah.
miss it.
Yeah. 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 Oh, that's
Uh,
nice. That's nice. Yeah. I know there has to be some transformation in people who, especially like you said, some older people who've been in these houses, and they're probably not having many people coming by, and then to come and be able to have a clean up, a clean out, and to be able to start fresh. I mean, that makes a difference. Wow. Um
you'd be
I'm
surprised.
just I'm imagining.
Would you be surprised if I
Go
told
ahead.
you that? Would you be surprised if I told you that these houses are in everybody's neighborhood? They're in your neighborhood. They're in my neighborhood. They're in everybody's neighborhood.
Yeah.
There's somebody sitting in that house, a senior citizen that has not been
Yeah.
visited, not been seen in a long time, living in squalid conditions, stacked up. I mean, it's just horrendous. The stories that I've heard through, even from my colleagues, because I work with all of the estate sale people that I can, and you just wouldn't believe it. And they're right in your neck of the woods.
I had a personal story that happened today. Actually, Patricia, is kind of unofficial but official. So I found out that one of my patients actually passed away, and this particular patient, when she would come to the office to visit me, she was a very lonely. Her daughter passed away years ago, and her daughter was sickly, and she passed away and left the older lady by herself. And when she would come in, I literally would have to spend anywhere from an extra 30 minutes to an hour talking with her, because coming to different doctors' offices, things of that sort, that was her, contact with people. And so,
Hmm.
long story short, I got news today that she passed away, that she was found in her home. And it's unexpected that I would even share this, but what we're talking about right now kind of made me bring that up. And my first thought was, really believe that the last time we talked, she kind of said it in a way that she was tired. She was tired, because she was lonely. She didn't have anybody. It was just her and her dog. And
Hmm.
so, hearing you talk about these estate sales and these lonely people and this and that, it just made me think about her in this moment. That, that's why it's so important. You know what, Patricia? That's why it's so important that we celebrate people when they're in front of us. You don't, I
Right.
mean, and I know I'm getting off the subject right now, but I have to be led by the Spirit of the Lord right now. You know, um, some people just need somebody like you, Patricia. You
Hmm.
may think that you're going to these houses and you're going to liquidate stuff and you're going to do your job, but I just get the sense that you're changing some lives just by walking in these people's houses and being a fresh face and being ears for them to be able to talk, because they don't have anybody to talk to. And that's what I was for this patient. Every time she came to my office, she would sit and I would just let her come in my office and talk. And then she'd
Yeah.
go have her sandwich, and she'd go to the same retail store, have her same sandwich, but she had a routine, is what I'm getting at. So,
Yeah.
a lot of times we don't really realize the importance of what we're doing. So, I salute you with what you're doing, but I just believe he gave you that job. It's so much bigger, and the way he gave it to you, the way he gave it to you, that it was literally just an idea that he impressed upon someone to give you. And now here you are, 500 and something houses later. You have a ministry in that business. It's not just about houses. And so, I mean, I'm just strongly feeling this right now. So I'm just telling you, I know I'm off script. But you have a ministry in that business. And, I pray that, you maximize that moment when you sit and talk to those people. Because just like today, I won't see that patient anymore.
Right.
But I know in my heart that every time that little lady came in that office, I let her talk. I
Mm-hmm.
hugged her, and I did those things because I saw the loneliness. I saw through that. And so when we do stuff like that, you know what I mean? We make the difference, go outside of the box. I know that the Lord gets the glory for that. And we've got a viewer now. Jace says Patricia is a godsend. Yeah, listen, Jace, I'm picking that up right now. That's why I had to go off script. She came in exactly when I needed. She has blessed me in the estate sale process. She has spoken and emanated life. I'm so grateful. And then he said off script, but in the vein of the Lord. Yes, yeah. So I just, like I said, I'm a minister first. I'm an author, talk show host, author, all this stuff. But when the Lord tells me to say something, I have to say that. And so I'm sitting here and it was just pressed upon me. It's so much bigger than the estate sales. And some of us, some people speak in pulpits and some people speak out in the streets and different places. But the Lord has put you in a position to be able to not only give back and help these people, profit, from the sales or whatever, but you're providing a service much bigger than that. And I just, I pray that the Lord continues to show you the direction He's got you going in. Now, let me get back to the script. But
So I just,
so listen,
yeah, thank you.
let's talk. Let's lead that to our next topic of faith. When did faith come into your life? Because I know you had to have some faith to go through the rough situation, the marriage. And listen, I've had several tough situations when it comes to that, and I've given my testimony on multiple platforms. But in my situation, I'm not sure about yours. In my situation, I was broken. I was a broken woman who didn't know what love looked like. So when I got married, I was set up for failure anyway. I know that some people's situation, some people not, but in my situation, being in brokenness, I didn't know what love looked like. So I made some decisions and later had to come back and say, okay, this was on me, right? Um, but how did faith play a part in your life then up until now? Kind of tell us a little bit about that.
So, I mean, my grandmother, she was, the rock when it came to instilling the foundation of, loving God, trusting God, embodying the fruits of the spirit. And, it was almost like routine for us growing up. I was in church from Sunday to Sunday. YPWW, usher,
I
uh,
get it. Yeah, yeah,
choir, everything that was going on with the church, I was in it. And so,
yeah.
but because of that, you develop this, you know, surface type of worship because it's such
Oh
a
yeah.
regimen.
Mhm.
It was surface worship. Yes, I understood the
Tradition.
word saying that I should have faith and I should do this and I should trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not to my own understanding. But I was leaning on up to my own understanding. This brick wall behind me is just a reminder that I used to run myself into them all the time. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I was a
Yeah.
master running myself into brick walls, basing my judgment on my own understanding. But when I hit that bottom part of where the transition felt like I was hopeless, where I was helpless,
Mm.
where I didn't have no one to reach out to. All I had was me. And I looked around, I said, well, here I am. There's a cross above my head. All those times I should have been on my knees praying, I never did. But now I have no choice but to. That's when my faith began to be the strongest that it's ever been in my life at that point.
So
At that,
you had a moment of surrender.
oh yeah, at that point. And
Yeah.
I haven't since. So there's absolutely nothing that can come and shake up whatever's going on in my world. I'm just like, well, I trust God and I know what he's going to do. He's already done it
Yeah.
100,000 times before for me. So guess what?
Yeah.
I believe he's going to do it 100,001 time, and it's going to keep
Yeah.
progressing. So that's how,
Yeah.
I trust God. Mm-hmm. Yes,
I love
ma'am.
that. I love that. So, what was your
Mm-hmm.
family like growing up? Let's talk about family. What did that look like? I hear you about your girls. I heard about your grandmother being influential in your life. What did family look? What does family or did family look like for you? Whichever you'd like to share, current or past.
I mean, right now, two of my daughters are grown. They both got children, and then I got my little baby girl because I didn't get enough of kids. So I turned around and had a little one. Now she's 11 years old. And so I just, like to see them flourish. I like to be a guiding light for them. They motivate me because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Patricia, they're going to be, counting on something being left here when you're no longer
Oh yeah,
here. So how can you
yeah,
create something that's going to perpetuate, not even so much as wealth for them, comfort for them,
yeah,
peace of mind for
yeah.
them.
I get it.
Hmm. So yeah,
I
that's
get
that's what.
that.
Hmm.
How long
Yeah,
how long have you been doing this to have reached over 500 houses? What time frame are we talking about? 1 year, 2 years? How many years has it been?
it's 5 years since 2019. Yeah, that's when I. Yeah, it's been 5 years.
5 years? That's it?
Yes, ma'am.
Over 500 houses in 5 years. You have been a busy woman.
Oh, no,
Wow.
nonstop, nonstop. During the pandemic, I did even more. We were doing like 3 properties a week. We had to just clean them out and then resell the stuff at another location. I ended up opening up 2 stores, one in Arlington and one in Houston. And I was going back and forth between both stores. I had staff here, staff there. We've liquidated millions of items throughout the years. Hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
That is a blessing. That is a blessing. I'm gonna say 3 words to you. My platform is about healing, empowerment, and transformation. When you hear those words, healing, empowerment, and transformation, which one stands out to you the most, and tell us why?
Healing, healing. I'll
Yeah.
tell you right now. Today I was working downtown in Dallas, near the government building. There was a property that we were just getting to the end of getting everything out of. And it's a huge homeless population that live around that building. And there was a gentleman see me struggling because I was moving some stuff. I've been moving stuff all day. And he said, "You need some help." And he's a homeless guy. And I was like, I said, "No, not really, but I mean, I'll take your help." And so he helped me with some things and move it down to my car. But he says, do you have any cold water in your car?" I said, "No, I need to go find me some cold water." But around this time of day, they have the homeless outreach and they line up and they just give them waters and stuff. I said, "But the outreach, they'll be there right away." And so
Mhm.
he started telling me about how, Patricia, well, he didn't know my name, but he was like, I'm trying to get my life together. I've only been out here for 3 weeks. I don't know where I'm going to go, but I know God is going to lead me. I
Mhm.
said, listen, I was in your same position 5 years ago. I was in your
Mm,
same
mm,
position
mm,
5 years ago. I did not know what I was going to do. Even when I stayed
mm,
from the shelter, when I moved from the shelter to the in-town suites, every week it was like, I got to get that $300. I got to make that $300. That was a struggle.
mm, mm.
It was me, my
Yeah.
baby
Yeah.
daughter, my oldest daughter, and my grandson living in a one bedroom, one full size bed in town suite.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I get
can't
it.
you can't tell me that God isn't real. You just cannot
Oh,
tell.
yeah.
I, I if I
Yeah.
see people that are having less faith, and the healing that had to come through me, and I was sharing that with him to say, listen, you will get through this. Just be consistent. Be consistent. Never give up.
Yeah.
Never have doubt in yourself. Mhm. That to me is a
Yeah.
part of the yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow. Yeah.
Um,
I'm thinking about a really tough time that I went through, Patricia, and I had to push myself with this phrase, and the phrase was, "Lord, I know your track record."
mm,
And we have to get to a point, like you just said, nothing shaking your faith. When you know who God is beyond a shadow of a doubt, when He has shown Himself to you and made ways for you that nobody could have done this but God, right?
mm,
You have to get to the point, because things are going to continue to come. That's just what happens, right? But you have
yeah.
to get to the point that you say whatever you got to say to yourself. You have to have a pep rally with yourself,
Mhm.
and you have to let yourself know and declare it to the atmosphere that I
Mhm.
know his track record. I know how he feels about me. I know how he handles me. And no matter what it looks like, you have to know that he is going to come through. And
Yeah.
it sounds like you definitely have witnessed that more than one time, and just sharing with that gentleman is a blessing. Listen,
Yeah.
we are talking to Patricia Creswell tonight. She is the founder of Contemporary Current. We have been talking about cleaning out, donating, liquidating, and selling properties, selling different types of items in homes, things that people have actually used to turn their lives around through estate selling. Um, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, we've got some time left here. Now would be the time to send in your questions, your comments, so that we can get those answered for you. Tell me, what is next, Patricia? What do you have coming up next? Do you have any speaking engagements, or what would you like for us to know that's coming up next?
So I don't have any upcoming speaking engagements. My schedule has been so busy just helping people liquidate and to transition. That's really the proper term for this. It's helping people
Yeah,
transition in the next phase of their
yeah.
home of the and so, I have an estate sale this weekend that I'm doing for Amazing Jays. That's what I call them. And that this sale is called In Mama's Loving Arms. And so all of my sales have
Ooh,
full theme, and people can come to my social media to see the advertisements for those sales. I have another one coming up the following week, and that one is a chef's kiss estate sale, because this gentleman was a profound event planner and like caterer in the Dallas Fort
okay.
Worth area for a lot of years. And so when I tell you his house is crammed packed full of all chef gear, all cookware, all event planning
Yeah,
stuff, as
yeah.
home decor. And we also have an online auction coming up for a young lady whose her father passed away, and he left a storage full of amazing pieces that we are doing an online auction for. So that's coming up back to
Oh,
back to
wow.
back. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like some good fun stuff. Tell us about your contact information. How do we get in touch with you, Miss Patricia? How do we get in touch with you?
Well, the best way, you can go to my Instagram, which is at contemporary current. You can go on my Facebook and just type in my name, Patricia Creswell. You can Google my name, tons of stuff will come up. All good, nothing weird. and
That was good.
and you will find
Yeah.
me on all platforms. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. I do that every now and then, which is really silly. And then I have my own website, www.contemporarycurrent.com, and I am now enrolling my for the next session for my estate sale success academy. So yeah, tap in with that too. I need more people to I need to train more people to be like me, miniature versions of me in different cities across America. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is nice. That is nice. So you heard it here, Patricia Creswell. She's accepting people right now for her academy. Look her up, as she said, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. What would you say, Patricia, to your younger self? As we come to a close, I want you to kind of think about your younger self. And for all those people that are watching, whether they're younger or older, what would you say to the young entrepreneurs or just to your younger self, whichever one you choose to answer as a form of motivation? What would you say?
This is a self-affirming statement. I can do all things, not some things. I can do all, which
Yeah,
encompasses everything you can think of through
everything.
Christ
Yeah,
strengthens you. Period. There's no doubt
I love
involved
that.
in that statement. So trust that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, before we get out of here, I do want to make an announcement. This weekend in the Dallas Fort Worth area, the Doc Bookshop, I will be having my book release. And Patricia, we have done so much marketing for this event. Listen, book launch for Innocence Taken at the Doc Bookshop, Saturday, August 3rd, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. The Doc Bookshop. I need you all to be in the house. This book, I co-authored with my co-author, Rodriguez, Mr. U. Underwood. In this book, hello, Mr. Marcus Session. He's also an author as well. Um, we will be showcasing our new book, Innocence Taken, which highlights childhood abuse. And
Mm-hmm.
this is, this is a subject that so many, and you know what, Patricia, it's not just about sexual abuse, physical abuse, it's all forms of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times, especially in our culture, I have to bring it to our culture.
Yeah.
So many times in our culture, we're told that what happens in this house stays in our house. We don't talk about that, or we pretend things didn't happen because it's uncomfortable.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and this book talks about childhood abuse on all different forms, from in home as well as in foster care. My co-author had foster care experiences. Mine were in home and with family. But we wrote this book as a pretty much memoir to ourselves, to be
Mm-hmm.
able to reach other people, to say, you know what, you have a voice. And regardless of whatever, you deserve to say your piece. This is the first book that I wrote first person about my experience. Most of my books, I've written right about 15 books now. And in my books, I usually use characters. So
Oh
this is
wow.
the very first book that I said that I'm gonna leave it right there. This is the first time that I felt strong enough, thanks be to God, that I felt strong enough to say I, and not Sheila or not Christina or one of the other characters that I have created in some of my other books. And so we will be at the Doc Bookshop again on Saturday, August the 3rd from 6 to 9. And I have the book Here's the book. Here is the book here. Innocence Taken. The books came in. So we are set and ready for that book launch on this weekend. So again, come out, say hello, get a copy of your book. We'll be doing, of course, pictures and autographs and all that fancy stuff, right? But I just wanted to mention that
I'll be
Patricia,
there.
keep doing what you're doing. You will? Okay, great. I'd love
Yeah.
to meet you in person. That will be amazing. So you keep doing what you're doing. I have been inspired. I knew what we were talking about as far as your business, but this was so much bigger than just your business, and just the opportunity of what the Lord is doing in your life and going to do in your life is so much bigger than this. And so I'm glad to have met you here, but I look forward to meeting you in person and, looking at some other collaborations in the future as well. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you for being on the show tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Any closing thoughts, Patricia? What would you like to say in closing? Anything else?
Well, I just want to tell everybody, I appreciate, you having me on this show. You are amazing. And it's really a safe space, a very comfortable space to speak, in. And I, just be on the lookout, you all. Just, remember how you used to sit in church and they said, touch your neighbor and tell them that you love them. Go check on your
Yeah,
check on your neighbors,
yeah.
check on your loved ones, check on people and see, where an estate sale could potentially be an asset for them. Hmm.
It's,
Yeah.
what? I mean, just that's heavy right now. Check on people. People
Hmm.
are, oh, Jesus, we think people are okay, but they're not okay. They are not
Right.
okay. And, of course, when they're not okay, it gets to the point of turning into an estate sale and to all these other things. But you know what? We need to check on them while they're alive. We need to check on them while they're alive. Is this cosmetic makeup tips? Is
She
that, I
laughed.
don't know what that.
She's laughing.
Oh,
LOL.
okay. Oh, oh,
She laughing at touch the neighbor. She.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm over talking about people dying. So I was like, huh? But
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you this week, Miss Patricia. Look forward to seeing you, the viewers, as well. Like, tag, and share. This interview has been so educational. Listen, y'all, we need to get more into this estate selling, creating generational wealth. Like she said, this is something that a lot of people don't know about. You can liquidate different items, turn your life around, pay off debts, push restart. There's so many advantages to being able to do this. Contact Patricia so you can get more information. She also has the academy that she's launching and starting up. So reach out, reach out, reach out. Again, like, tag, and share. If you stay right there for me for just a moment, Miss Patricia, I'm gonna close out, but I'll be right back in just a moment.
Yay. Bye, everybody.
If you would like to be a guest on the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show, email Stephanie at stephaniemseatontheauthor@gmail.com.